Okay, I'm back. I put my phone literally in the freezer for a bit because it like overheated and it's happened now multiple times, so I need to figure out what to do with that. I plugged it in because my phone dies really quick and I think maybe the charging made it extra hot, but it's also just there's no air conditioning in where I am, and it's just been the weather's been getting really hot too, so it's like really hot in this room. I was like sweating throughout the last live. Um, but I did just like want to finish my thoughts because I did have a whole thing I wanted to kind of talk about. We last left off, I was actually talking about the JFK assassination. And how well we were watching that clip of the so yeah, if you're just tuning into this and you're interested in seeing the first part of the discussion, you're gonna have to watch my previous live stream for that. But we watched a clip of a news anchor from CNN that was just saying it was kind of like dangerous to be like alluding to the Trump assassination attempt being an inside job and stuff like that. Like you shouldn't even be saying those things, but like honestly, on my way to the freezer to put my overheated phone to the freezer, I had like another thought too of um wouldn't it be even more, she was saying it's like dangerous because like the political climate that we're in right now and stuff like that, with like tensions very high and the divisiveness. And I had a thought when I was putting my phone in the freezer of wouldn't it be even more heated if an investigation, if like these things weren't being considered and asked and stuff like that, and it like appeared that there was a cover up in some way, and then it came out that there was a cover, like people didn't do due diligence or like, you know, ask the like I think it just creates more upsetness too in ways to like not even be able to be censored just for asking questions and that. And it kind of just fuels it even more. It can fuels the conspiracy stuff, even the conspiracy theories of it all. Like it actually fuels it more. It does the complete opposite of what it's like claiming to do. Like people are like, well, what's the reason for censoring everything if there's nothing to it then, you know? So it kind of just does the opposite of what this lady is afraid of with that. And the point I wanted to make too is like it is just such a crazy time in history right now because of technology. Um, because like when JFK was assassinated in 1963, from my knowledge, so I was doing some like fresh research the other day because I don't know like all the details about it, but I don't think they ever had video footage at the time it happened until afterwards, and I've been trying to figure out when that was. If you know, please put it in the comments. I'm just gonna do a quick Google search again here. When did the JFK, I have a laptop in front of me, so assassination footage happen? Just the JFK assassination, like I don't know enough to, it seems like a weird, like I don't know if it was just a cover up, like I don't know enough to for me to have an opinion that that was fully an inside job, but like I kind of lean towards that in a way, or at the least a cover up. Like for some reason it was all covered up, you know, or things just were really weird and murky with that. So I was looking into it, and um, at the time, like this just weird shit happened, and that like there was all these CIA files and things that came out way after. According to my research, it was actually saying that thanks to a 1991 movie about the whole situation assassination, like then the CIA files got released excuse me, after that, and FBI files I believe, and there was like weird things going on in those files, like his the brain went missing or something, like they it just went missing from the autopsy. And then in the very beginning they were saying it was the whole the official narrative is that there was one shooter in the JFK assassination. Something Oswald is his name. Um, he friggin' sucks, but anyways, so he was like in a building and stuff like that, and then they claimed that there was only that one shooter the whole time. It was until this video footage came out later that it was evident, like people analyzing it and experts and stuff were like saying that it just didn't seem like the bullets were just could come from one shooter, or the angle of where that one guy was in the building and stuff like that. Like it just seemed like it didn't, the math just wasn't mathing. So, and then initially they were saying that it was like one, it was something like there was one bullet shot had hit Kennedy and then hit his, there was a guy sitting in front of him. I can't remember what his like position is or something. Like I don't know if he was actually a Secret Service guy or just a guard or a governor, or maybe it was, I don't think it was the vice president, but maybe it was. I don't know. I don't know I forget. And there, I don't know. It's like hard to know. It frustrates me to not know every single detail and every person's name and the thing and whatever. But anyways, just a guy sitting in front of Kennedy, and at the time, initially in the beginning, they were just like claiming that that one bullet or something like went through, hit Kennedy, went through him, and then went through this guy's like chest and wrist and somewhere else, like that this one bullet like traveled 3 times through flesh and something like that. And then they found that bullet, or the bullet they claimed to do that, like had no, it was just perfectly clean looking too. So it just seemed highly unlikely that that happened. But I think, I don't know exactly. I was not around in the 60s. I wasn't born yet. So I don't know what it was like at the time to be questioning that, to be like, oh, I don't think that's true, or like, I don't know, were they labeling people back then as just crazy conspiracy theorists for questioning the official narrative? I'm not sure. But now we live in a time where there's so much technology and everyone has their own personal phone to be filming, and there's like so many videos. And so again, from my knowledge at the time, okay, so the film is called, the JFK assassination footage is called the Zapruder film. Although it is not the only film of the shooting, this is from Wikipedia, by the way. The Zapruder film has been described as being the most complete, giving a relatively clear view. Oh, dang it. Now I don't know where the heck, it was just showing me like a preview of the article, or the, not an article, but the thing from Wikipedia. And now I don't know where that part was, and it's got all this pretext and everything. Oh, here it is. Although it's not the only film, it's been described as the most complete, giving a relatively clear view from a somewhat elevated position on the side from which the president's fatal head wound is visible. It was an important piece of evidence before the Warren Commission hearings and all subsequent investigations of the assassination. It is one of the most studied pieces of film in history, particularly footage of the final shot, which helped spawn theories of whether Lee Harvey Oswald was the lone assassin. Yeah, there was just a lot of, they kept kind of insisting it was this one guy, but there was talk about how there's maybe another shooter, and it seemed like they were trying to cover that up in some way or shut it down, because afterwards, when they finally released the CIA and FBI files, there was some sketchy stuff that seemed to be going on there. But promised Zapruder that the film would only be to develop the footage. When did it come out? I just want to know, when did the Zapruder, so it's not the only footage, but this was like a monumental piece of footage from the JFK assassination. When did the Zapruder film come out? So it was aired as part of a Los Angeles area television newscast cast on February 14, 1969. I have to do basic math on my fingers because I can't not. 63, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 6 years after, I think that's when it first came out. So even though if it had come out at the time, like even if the few video footages that are also really kind of low quality, and even if those few video footage came out at the time of the JFK assassination, it definitely was not a lot of evidence, like compared to nowadays that everyone has their own personal camera on their phone, and you can get so many more angles and just so much more evidence and everything, and that just seems to be coming out. Like, it just seems like it's not really possible to have a big cover up anymore of anything, honestly. When you have just, if something happens in a public place with so many people and so many witnesses, and um, it's just not really possible to do that. And like, and then I don't know, I guess they were able to get away with like JFK's brain going missing in the investigation at some point, like because all the CIA and FBI files or something were like concealed for so many years. Like, how did they get away with that? Like, I do just feel like now, everyone's just more on it, and it is like it seems like there has really been like a big shift in the public not the public like smelling out the bullshit too, like just being like, this is not, something seems off, or just like when people speak, and whether it is politicians or officials or official spokespeople for organizations or departments of whatever, like government officials or that, like people can kind of tell when these people aren't being genuine, and they're kind of being fake, or they're just like saying things that, and people are just like, the math ain't mathin', like this doesn't make sense, it's not. And so, because like I feel like now there actually is like probably the least amount of trust in government, than there's been maybe different times in history. There was having like a huge distrust of government, um, but I feel like there's kind of a more general, majority, maybe not majority, but there's a general, uh, you know, impressive amount of like distrust, you could say, or like a significant amount of distrust these days, I think, in the government, based on different situations that have happened, maybe like COVID regulations, or just like how different things have been like handled and stuff like that, to where it can't just slide, it can't, it's just not like how it was, where the public can be bamboozled so easily anymore, I feel, because my personal opinion is that there is like a decent amount of corruption that goes on. There's some, at least, corruption that goes on, like in the government or in different organizations, or just like the CIA is not to be trusted. There's like so much stuff that has come out that's just so sketch from that, and like whistleblowers and everything. So I think it's just a crazy time in history, a crazy time to be alive. To, um, it's just, and it is, in my opinion, it is satisfying that they can't just get away with, like, if it's not, if there's some sort of intention to not pursue an actual investigation, or to actually, like, people are just not going to accept that, oh, we just decided, like, according to this circumstance, and the experts speaking about like how crazy it was that they did not have the Secret Service on the roof, or I guess anyone on the roof or whatever, like how crazy that is. Like, it's just, people aren't going to move on after the decision. It was a sloped roof, it was just like too dangerous. And again, I, like I said, I went over this last live, but like, the math's not mathing when the Secret Service sniper agents were already on a sloped roof. They were on their own, sloped roof with a vantage point to be able to shoot anyone that was being sketched and stuff like that. So they already had agents on a sloped roof. So there's another roof that happens to be sloped, but you're not going to have anyone on that. With like the one building, it appeared to be like the one building, in the vicinity that would be like where someone would go to try to assassinate Trump, would be literally that building. If someone wanted to do that, they would go straight to that freaking building, you'd think, if they could. Like, it's one thing to want to also, okay, I'm gonna go to this thing to like try to pull off this horrible, disgusting thing. It's one thing to have that idea and everything, and then to be able to somehow that this person was somehow able to get away with it, with like how many almost checkpoints that they somehow got through. They were able to just like hang around the event for 3 hours, like with a rangefinder. And yeah, I talked about it all in the first slide, but yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. And those are my thoughts. And so one of the points of doing this for me is just to, I don't know, just to be, I really just sit in the nuance of everything too, or I just like, I can't pick a side, like I said in the other live stream, like I don't, I'm not like part of the left wing or right wing team, like I just cannot, like I vote and stuff, but I just can never commit to being like, I could not be a party member or like official. I could not label myself as something, like I just can't be like I'm conservative, I'm whatever. Like maybe I'd be considered what is called a classic liberal, I guess, but I don't know enough of the ins and outs of exactly what that term even means. And nowadays it just, all the things change. Like what liberal was years ago is totally a different thing now, so you can't even say whatever. But like I change my mind on a daily basis too, and there's just always going to be things where I can't agree enough with the things that a certain party agrees with to be part of the party ever. So I, on YouTube, I do just see, it seems like the majority of people are either on one team or the other. So I'm someone who's not, and so I guess I'm just like facilitating a space for people that resonate with that or something, because like I don't really see that out there as much. And then it's just like a place for me to be able to have my nuanced things and have my little different points that I like to say or express in ways, because a lot of the content that I see and watch and stuff is either just like one side or the other. So I guess that's my reasons for kind of doing this type of political stuff. But yeah, I also, my channel's a whole jamble of or a whole jumble of, is jamble a word? Now this is what happens. I get distracted by my own thoughts. Is jamble a word? Just curious. The only known use of the verb jamble is in the early 1700s. I'm so retro. Look at me. OED's earliest evidence for jambles from 1750. What does it mean? Jamble is a variant or alteration of another lexical item. I don't even know. But anyways, oh, what is the meaning of jamble? To move in a confused or disordered manner. It's probably just the same as jumble. So yeah, we're jumbling around on my channel. I talk a lot about mental health, but I also just do other random videos, and then I've done different political videos for sure on this channel and stuff. So anyways, that's my live. That's the part 2 from the first live that abruptly ended, as is like usually what happens these days. Like it's embarrassing how many times my lives just abruptly end from my phone overheating. So maybe by the next live we'll have it figured out. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, even if it's just like after the fact and you're watching the replay. Yeah, I don't know. Take care, everyone, and bye. Stay awesome out there.